Disney Pixar Cars 3. From Chapter 3 to Chapter 6.
Chapter 3. "Welcome back to Chick's Picks with Chick Hicks," shouted Racing Sports Network television host Chick Hicks. He wore a big grin as he stood beside his piston cup in front of a wall-sized screen. "I'm your host, former and forever Piston Cup champion Chick Hicks. Do-do-do-do. This just in, rookie Jackson Storm slams the proverbial door on Lightning McQueen. Ooh, I couldn't have enjoyed it more if I'd beaten Lightning myself. Oh, wait, I have!" On the screen flashed a photo of Lightning's shocked expression when he lost to Storm. "But enough about me," continued Chick. "Here to tell you how it happened is professional number cruncher Miss Natalie Certain." The camera widened to reveal a smart, confident, ruby-colored car standing at the other end of the screen. "It's a pleasure to be here, Chick," said Natalie. "And actually, I prefer the term statistical analyst." "Right. So, who is this mysterious newcomer, Jackson Storm, and why is he so darn fast?" asked Chick. Statistics and other information suddenly filled the screen behind them as Natalie explained. "It's no mystery if you study the data, Mr. Hicks. Jackson Storm is part of the next generation of high-tech racers, unlike the veterans of yesterday." Chick displayed the photo of Lightning's face again, close up, so the viewers at home could see him. "What? Old-timers like this guy?" he chuckled. Right," said Natalie, getting back to business. "Storm achieves his top speeds by exploiting the numbers." A picture of Storm appeared. "I refer, of course, to racing data." She rolled her eyes at the sight of the photo. "Tire pressure, downforce, weight distribution, aerodynamics. And next gens, like Storm, are taking advantage. The racing world is changing." Chick smiled. "And for the better if it means my old rival Lightning is down for the count. Am I right, Certain?" "Well, if I'm certain of anything, Chick, it's that this season is about to get even more interesting," said Natalie. The following night, an anxious crowd at the Speedway roared with anticipation as racers ran the pace lap under the moon's glow. Above the track, inside the little booth in the tower, Bob Cutlass and Darrell Cartrip watched, analyzing the action below. "I'll tell you what, Darrell," said Bob, looking down on the track. "Jackson Storm has certainly made an impact. We've got 6 more next-generation rookies in the field, with 6 veterans fired to clear the way," added Darrell. The 6 new racers were in sync as they headed toward the green flag. In a way, it was as if they were all variations of the same car. Storm was up in front in the pole position, and Lightning was right beside him. "Morning, champ," said Storm. "And how's our living legend today?" Still very much alive, thank you," said Lightning. "And I would appreciate—" "You know," Storm interrupted, "I can't believe I get to race the Lightning McQueen in his farewell season." "What you talking about?" Lightning asked. "Oops, green flag. Good luck out there, champ. You're gonna need it." The flag dropped and Storm took off. Lightning angrily revved his engine and raced after him. More next-gen rookies appeared around Lightning, effortlessly moving ahead of him. They seemed to race with robotic precision. As hard as he tried, Lightning couldn't pull in front. He continued to push himself and managed to get ahead of some of the rookies, but Storm held the lead. As the flag dropped and the race ended, Storm was the first to finish again. Even though Lightning had given his all, he came in third. Meanwhile, at the Racing Sports Network studio, Natalie Certain and Chick Hicks continued to discuss her research on his show. "One reason Storm and the next gens are more efficient? Their ability to hold the optimum racing line every single lap. The racing world buzzed over the next few days as Storm continued to win race after race. And as Storm's winning streak wore on, Lightning became more and more frustrated. Reporters couldn't stop talking about Storm. Natalie Certon's show, Morning Piston Cup, had more viewers than ever. In fact, every show on the Racing Sports Network had something to say about the amazing new rookie. Lightning couldn't get through a minute of his day without hearing something about Storm. Natalie Certon analyzed his every move. Storm's in a class of his own, and a big reason for that? Training on the newest cutting-edge simulators. As she spoke, the camera showed footage of Storm on a high-tech simulator. These machines create a virtual racing experience that is so real, the racers never even have to go outside, she explained. Chick Hicks interviewed Storm at Flathead Motor Speedway after a race. Piston Cup winner Chick Hicks here, with the racer who is taking the circuit by storm, Jackson Storm. Chick flashed a big smile as he stood beside Storm in Victory Lane. Another easy win over old Kachow, or should I say Caboose, 'cause he's always in the back. Am I right? Out in the trailer area, Lightning looked up at the Jumbotron as he rolled by. He stopped to listen to Storm's answer. No, Chick, answered Storm. Lightning is a crafty veteran champ. He's the elder statesman of the sport, you know. Takes everything I got to beat him. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, Lightning said to himself, irritated. When he turned away from the Jumbotron, he saw his sponsors, Rusty and Dusty, surrounded by a pack of reporters. Rusty and Dusty, the reporters shouted. They shot a series of questions at the sponsors. What changes are you going to make to get Lightning McQueen back on top? Said one. Will Lightning try new training methods? Asked another. Is he prepared to retire? Are you prepared to retire him? Asked yet another. Lightning rolled over to try to help as Rusty and Dusty stammered. Come on, guys, said Lightning. Let's not overreact. It's just a slump. We'll get him next week. The reporters immediately swarmed Lightning. Over here, shouted one. Hey, Lightning, shouted another. Okay, that's enough, he said, trying to make them stop. No comment. Not even about Cal Weathers retiring? Asked one reporter. Wait, what? Asked Lightning, stopping in his tracks. Cal Weathers. He's hanging up his light years, said the reporter. No, said Lightning. No comment on that either. And he rolled away. He rushed over to Cal, who was backing into his trailer. Hey, Cal. Hey, retirement? What's going on? Cal smiled when he saw Lightning. I asked my uncle once how I'd know when it was time to stop, he answered. You know what he said? The youngsters'll tell you. Lightning didn't know how to respond. Just as Cal's trailer door began to close, he added, We had some good times together. Gonna miss that the most, I think. Yeah, said Lightning. Cal disappeared behind the door, and Lightning was left alone. A wave of shock and sadness washed over him. How could Cal be done? How was it that Lightning would never get another chance to race with him? Lightning stood there frozen, watching the truck drive off. He would give anything to go back to the way it was, before Storm was on the scene. Chapter 4. Later that night, the racing news programs continued to cover the next-gen racers and discuss the drastic changes that were happening to the sport of racing. On the set of Morning Piston Cup, Natalie Certon stood beside the giant screen. It was filled with a grid showing the 40 Piston Cup racers at the start of the season. The squares featuring veteran racers were illuminated. More changes ahead, Chick, said Natalie. Every week we've seen veteran racers either retire, like Cal Weathers tonight, or be fired to make room for these younger, faster racers. And it's not over yet. As she continued, more and more squares went dark, signifying the departure of those cars from the racing circuit. But Lightning refused to give up, and the race at the Los Angeles International Speedway seemed like the perfect place to get out of his slump and back on top. The next morning, a team of jets streaked across the blue sky as excitement grew in the crowded stands. An announcer's voice boomed over the PA. "Hello, racing fans," he said. "Welcome to the Los Angeles 500, final race of the Piston Cup season. It's been a year of surprises, and today promises to be no different. While the teams get ready in the pits, we get ready to bring you the action here, trackside." Lightning, on his way to Bobby's garage, stopped when he noticed Brick and his sponsor heading down the middle of the garage area. Two pitties carried big boxes with Brick's name scribbled across their sides. Lightning began to move toward Brick, but stopped short when he saw him talking urgently to his sponsor. "You can't do this," yelled Brick. "I've raced for you guys for almost 10 years. "Sorry, Brick," said the sponsor. "My mind's made up. Time for me to move on to someone new." "Hey, I had 2 wins last year," Brick cried. "The whole sport's changing," said the sponsor. "I'm just doing what I gotta do." Lightning saw a racer pulling out of Bobby's garage and went to him. "Hey, Bobby," he said, "do you know what's happening with Brick?" But Lightning quickly realized that it wasn't Bobby in Bobby's garage. It was another racer, a new next-gen racer. "The name's Danny, bro," said the sleek race car as he headed past Lightning. Lightning looked around the garage area and couldn't believe his eyes. There were only next-gen racers all around. He didn't recognize any of them. What's going on? How can everything be changing so fast, he thought. Lightning left the garage and took the pace lap. He found himself in the 3rd row next to Danny. "Hey, champ," Storm called to Lightning from the front. "Where'd all your friends go?" "A final check of his tires as Storm settles into the pole position," Bob Cutlass said over the PA. Lightning tried to contain his anger while Storm scrubbed his tires and took his position on the pole. The green flag flew. It was time to race, and Darrell Cartrip's voice came through the speakers. "Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's end this season with a great race." Sally and the Radiator Springs gang watched nervously. "That's it, buddy," cheered Mater as Lightning leaned hard into a sprint. The race went on into the night. Storm held the lead with Lightning a few lengths behind. As Storm led the racers into the pits, Shannon Spokes reported from the sidelines. 40 laps to go, and race leader Jackson Storm is making his way onto pit road with McQueen on his tail. A good stop here could mean the difference between victory and defeat." Storm's swift, efficient pit crew immediately got to work. At the same time, Guido worked on Lightning as quickly as he could. The racer was antsy. Come on, he said, panic in his voice. "Faster, Guido! Come on, I gotta get back out there before he does! Guido, hurry up!" Within seconds, Guido was finished. Fatto, he said, moving away. Lightning got back out before any of the other racers. "What a pit stop by Lightning McQueen!" shouted Darrell Cartrip. "Man, he just got the lead." "But Darrell, can he hold on to it?" asked Bob Cutlass. Before long, Storm pulled alongside Lightning. "Hey, Lightning," he said, "you all right? Listen, don't you worry, pal. You had a good run. Enjoy your retirement." Then, effortlessly, he sped ahead. "Storm takes back the lead," said Bob Cutlass, "a length in front." Furious, Lightning pushed himself forward harder and harder, using everything he had to try to catch Storm. "Unbelievable!" yelled Darrell Cartrip. "Lightning is fading! Lightning is fading fast!" No, shouted Lightning, straining as he tried to get ahead. Now he was 2 lengths behind Storm. Lightning angrily pushed himself harder until one of his tires blew out. He started to spin. Whipping around and around, everything went blurry, and a deafening hush took over the crowd. In the stands, Sally gasped. She and the rest of the Radiator Springs gang held their breath as they helplessly watched Lightning's spin turn into a roll. The fans were completely silent as the entire stadium witnessed the worst crash of Lightning's career. With every flip, they could hear the terrible crunch of Lightning's body against the pavement. He continued to roll and roll until, finally, he stopped, a low hiss of smoke rising from his engine. Then a flurry of activity surrounded him. An ambulance, a fire truck, and a tow truck rushed to his aid while the crowd watched, horrified, hoping to see signs of life. Chapter 5. 4 months had passed since Lightning's devastating crash. He had survived and was recovering at home in Radiator Springs, but in all that time he hadn't raced so much as a lap. Some music played through a tinny radio speaker inside Doc's garage. "Welcome back to Piston Cup Talk Round the Clock, where we do nothing but talk racing," said the radio show's host, Mike Joyride. "So let's get to it, starting, of course, with Lightning McQueen. The season's start is just 2 weeks away, and there's still no official announcement. But with number 95 coming off his worst year on record, don't shoot the messenger here, folks. I think it's safe to assume that Lightning McQueen's racing days are over. Meanwhile, Jackson Storm is looking even faster than—" Lightning clicked the radio off, took a deep breath, and let out a big, long sigh. It was clear he wasn't himself and that he wasn't doing well. He eyed the dusty old film projector in the corner of the garage and rolled over to it. He flipped a switch and it came to life, flickering and flashing old racing footage against the wall. The commentator's voice shouted above the sound of the old roaring engines. "As they enter the final lap, the number 6 and number 12 cars are still fighting it out for the lead. But wait, here he comes. It's the fabulous Hudson Hornet knocking on their door. What's he got up his sleeve today?" Lightning couldn't help smiling at the sight of Doc racing on the track. "And there it is," the announcer continued. "With one incredible move, he's passed them. The Hornet takes a decisive lead. He's left the pack behind. His crew chief, Smokey, is loving it. It's unbelievable." Then panic crept into the announcer's voice. "Oh no, he's in trouble. The Hudson Hornet has lost control." Lightning watched as Doc spun out. It was painful to see Doc spin, roll, and finally crash. The emergency personnel rushed onto the track as the commentator continued. "What should have been a scene of jubilation has turned tragic here today, folks, as we await news on the Hudson Hornet's condition. After such a devastating crash, we can only hope that this race today wasn't his last." Lightning stopped the film. He remembered a conversation he'd had with Doc years before, in the exact spot where he was currently parked. "You think I quit?" asked Doc, frustrated. "They quit on me. When I finally got put together, I went back expecting a big welcome. You know what they said? You're history. Moved right on to the next rookie standing in line." Doc took a breath. "There was a lot left in me I never got a chance to show 'em." "Hey, Stickers," said Sally, rolling into the garage. Hearing his old nickname shook him out of his memory. "Hey, Sal," he said quietly. "So, how you feeling?" she asked, looking concerned. It was also clear that she had an agenda. "Yeah, great. Really, really great," Lightning replied, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Thinking about Doc again?" "Yeah," said Lightning, looking down at the floor. "You know, They told him when he was done. He didn't decide. He sighed heavily before continuing. I don't want what happened to Doc to happen to me. But that hasn't happened, she replied. No, but I can't go out on the track and do the same old thing. It won't work. Then change it up, said Sally. Try something new. Lightning wasn't convinced. I don't know, Sally. Don't fear failure, she interrupted. Be afraid of not having the chance. You have the chance. Doc didn't. She paused for a moment to let her words sink in. And you can either take it or you can do what you've been doing, sitting in here for months. She looked around the garage as she continued, the playful tone back in her voice. And by the way, I love what you've done with the place. I mean the monster movie lighting, the musky air freshener. And don't let anyone tell you you're not working that primer because, wow, I've never found you more attractive. And now that I've been in here for a couple minutes, the stench, I'm getting kind of used to it. Okay, Sal, Lightning said. I get it. I miss you, Lightning. We all do. Try something new. Huh, Lightning repeated, mulling over Sally's words. Just then, Mater burst in. Hey, did it work, Miss Sally? He asked. Did you set him straight with your lawyerly powers of persuasion? Sally looked at Lightning, waiting for him to answer. Is he ready to start training? Mater asked, looking at Lightning, too. Well, stickers? She asked, a smile in her voice. Yes, Mater, I am, said Lightning with a chuckle. He was grateful to have such good friends. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, yelped Mater. I decide when I'm done, he said to Sally. I was hoping you'd say that. Okay, but I got an idea, and I'm going to need to talk to Rusty and Dusty, all right? Said Lightning. I'll get 'em on the horn, said Mater, rushing off. Get it? On the horn! He laughed out loud as he honked his horn, driving the joke home even harder. He suddenly stopped laughing and scrunched up his nose. Oops, hold on, I gotta sneeze. He moved his chassis and grill around and sighed. Dadgum, I lost it. Hey, I'll see you at Flo's. He left, but was only gone a second when they heard a loud, Achoo! And then, I found it! Lightning and Sally looked at each other and burst out laughing. Lightning felt great. He was ready to start racing again. Chapter 6. A little while later at the V8 Cafe, Flo, Mater, and the rest of the Radiator Springs gang were gathered around a monitor, having a video call with Rusty and Dusty. What about the car from Everett? Asked Rusty, already chuckling at the thought. Remember him? He was stuck in reverse, said Dusty. I said, you need a house with a circular driveway. Rusty and Dusty busted up laughing, and Flo laughed too. You boys need to get your rusty tails down here, she said. I created a drink in your honor. Yeah, said Mater, the Rusty's Medicated Bumper Bomb. It goes down faster than an elevator full of Winnebagos. Rusty and Dusty laughed as Lightning arrived with Sally. Everyone in the cafe lit up and gave Lightning a hearty welcome. They were happy to see him out and about. Lightning looked around. Then it suddenly got very quiet. Wow, he said, you're all here. Sorry, buddy, said Mater. Did you want this call to be private? No, Mater, this is perfect. Lightning took a deep breath. Listen, thanks everyone for sticking by me. It took me a while to figure it out, but I know now that it's time for me to make some changes. Changes? Asked Sarge. What kind of changes? It's futile to resist change, man, said Fillmore. You're right, Fillmore, said Lightning. Really? Fillmore said, a little surprised. "Which is why I have an announcement to make," Lightning replied. Everyone tensed up, anxiously waiting for what Lightning had to say. "I've thought long and hard about it," he began. They all leaned in. "Done a lot of soul-searching and considered all the options." They drew closer, crowding around him, afraid to miss a word. "And I've finally decided—" "You do want to keep racing," blurted Luigi, unable to contain his worry. He was clearly asking what everyone was thinking. "Are you kidding?" said Lightning. "Of course I want to keep racing." The crowd exhaled with relief and then exploded into a chorus of hoots and hollers. "Man," said Mater, "for a second Wait a minute, I knew that the whole time." "Guys," said Lightning, "I'm talking about making this my best season yet." Everyone cheered and jumped for joy. "We were hoping you'd say that," said Dusty. Lightning waited until the crowd settled down and then spoke in a serious tone. "The thing is, guys, if I'm going to beat Storm, I need to train like him." "We're way ahead of you, buddy," said Dusty. "Lightning, we want you on the road first thing in the morning," said Rusty. "So you can come out and see the brand new," added Dusty. The two finished together excitedly. "Rusty's Racing Center!" "It's wicked awesome," said Dusty. "Wait, what?" said Lightning with a big smile. "Rusty's Racing Center?" "It's got all the fancy bells and whistles that the kids are training on these days," said Dusty. "We'll send Mackie Boy the directions. Now get moving, all right?" "Okay," said Lightning, stunned. The screen went black as they ended the call, and the gang erupted in an even louder celebration than before, feeling ecstatic and hopeful. As Lightning and Sally drove out, Luigi and Guido scurried past. "Andiamo, andiamo," said Guido. "Guido, come," urged Luigi. "We have to pack the tires." Ramon rolled up alongside Lightning. "Hey, Lightning," he called. "You can't race in primer, man. Come on, let's go." Lightning took off with Ramon. He looked back at Sally and smiled as she proudly watched him go. Moments later, Lightning was up on the lift in Ramon's garage. Ramon got to work, giving Lightning a fresh paint job. Once he was finished, Lightning checked himself out in the mirror, admiring his new look. "Ramon, you have done it again," he said. "It's like the Sistine Chapel, on wheels," said Ramon. Lightning stared at his reflection with a determined look in his eyes. "I'm coming for you, Storm," he said.